Hey guys, Shannon Boyle with Wellstone Studio here in Denver, and I am here to bring you a little snippet of our studio conversation from last week. And as always, we're talking about the white space quite a lot, confronting the white space and what that means. And what that usually means is stepping into that space in life, in your work, in your business, where you really want to create change, or you want to create something from nothing. You have something to bring to the world that the world really needs. And where we went last week, which was just so appropriate because we're going through 4th of July weekend. It's a long weekend for most of my clients. And talking about the difficulty creating white space in life and leaving it alone. That means the difficulty we have with just letting the white space breathe, letting ourselves play with no real purpose other than play in that white space, and leaving that space open as a place to really explore and develop and do it in a way where it's not so much go, go, go. You're not list making at that point. It's the development that comes through sitting with yourself, through allowing yourself to vision, allowing yourself to really imagine what the possibilities are. And what I see happen, both with myself and with my clients, is that we work really, 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 really hard to create a bit of breathing room or white space in life. You know, the time where we're going to relax and play and explore and develop. And we're like, yes, we've got this space now. Something happens, something very special. Something clicks on and says, I must fill this. I must fill it to capacity right now because it's going to go away. It's going to end, or I'm going to miss my opportunity, or I'm not going to use this to whatever the utmost is. And that space that is supposed to be open for play and joy and exploration and adventure gets real cramped down, and we start to have old leadership rules come up. That's what leads to the cramping down. Old leadership rules are things like, I better take advantage of this now because it's going to go away. If I don't chock this full of all the fun, interesting, neat things that I want to do, and if I don't jam pack every minute, I'm wasting it. And therefore, I'm not grateful enough, I'm not whatever, fill in the blank enough, right? Old rules. We also have the thing of, and again, I see this a lot with my clients, and I definitely with myself, that there's some rule inside somewhere that says it's not okay to play in this white space that I've created, this breathing room that I've created. It's not okay. Now, I know for me, that rule is attached to a very long, very old conversation that I never really agreed with. I only agreed with it in action, which is why I was left feeling the way I was feeling, both in my work and in my life. And you know, there are also old rules around, you know, it's not okay if I just explore. It's not okay if I get lost. It's not okay that I don't know what I'm doing all the time. And those old leadership rules shut down that white space and make it really small, and then poof, it's gone. It's gone because, you can't stand in it, you can't use it. Yeah, just poof. And when you're an ambitious person and you work so hard to create a life of ease and flow and freedom and opportunity and impact, and you don't feel good, you don't feel like there's space for you in your life, that starts to create old leadership rules like, I can't do this. It's not possible for me. And it just shuts down the whole process of change, the whole process of really creating, because there's this constant cycle of failure in a sense. Even though, like, you could be wildly successful out in the world, like your clients love you, your money's good, friends and family are like, we love you, there's something missing. So what do we do? That's a big question, right? And definitely a question that I have asked over and over and over again, and it's been very much an evolving process. And I think it's like that for all of you too. There is going to be no like solid, unchanging, concrete, written in stone answer to what the heck do I do about this? Because life's always changing. So we want to come back to the process of what true leadership really is. And what I'm going to give you is just 3 easy entry points that you can use when you're looking at creating a little bit of white space in life, or you're dealing with some that is just miraculously there and you want to use it in a whole new way. So first, if you're wanting to create more white space, if you're confronted with some unexpected white space, you want to check in, drop in, check in with what the heck is going on. When we create something or we have an opportunity, we can bring up all sorts of thoughts and feelings, and I know I'm not telling you anything new about that, but you need to drop in and check in and see, like, is what's coming up for me, is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it excitement? Am I really super happy? Am I relieved? Am I ambivalent? That's always my favorite place to land, and I mean that with the utmost sarcasm. I hate when I'm in an ambivalent state, and that's that place where I want to, I don't want to. I want to, I don't want to, and it goes back and forth, back and forth, back. It's so frustrating. And when we're dealing with white space, that ambivalence will come up so strong, and sometimes it hides behind other stuff. So you really got to just drop in, check in with what's coming up, and 2, get curious about it. There is nothing better in life for opening doors and removing blocks than getting curious. When we get curious, we ask, what's this about? What's this mean? Where's this going? It really is about opening doors and peeking through and being like, what's going on in there? And if I check in and I'm like, wow, I am ambivalent. Wow, what's that about? Well, I might be looking at taking a financial risk. I might be looking at, um, you know, changing the pattern of my life. Anyone who's ever started their own business knows how much that shifts the pattern of things. And I do work with a lot of folks who are solopreneurs, soulpreneurs, entrepreneurs, whatever label you know calls to them. But get curious. And 3, get real. Get real. Take ownership of your leadership rules. The rules that you live by are not created out here somewhere. The rules we live by are so much created by ourselves. And if I'm walking around living by old leadership rules that say it's not okay to play, I can't explore, it's not okay to be messy, it's not okay for me to not know where I'm going with something, then that's mine. I may have heard it from somewhere else, I may have absorbed it from somewhere else, but the fact that I continue to live by those rules, that's mine. And when I'm looking at confronting the white space in a way where I leave it alone, I let it breathe, or I really use it as a place to develop and not act, I can choose the new rules that it's okay for me to not know where I'm going. It's okay for me to experiment, to try new things. It's okay for me to sit on the porch for 2 hours and listen to music and imagine workshops that I might create or content that my clients are calling for, and just to really sort of sit with it without taking major action. We start to change our leadership rules, we start to change our lives, and the lives of the people around us are so immediately affected. And if you are one of us, if you are an ambitious person who's got a lot to give the world, give yourself something too. Give yourself something first, and let yourself breathe in your life. Let yourself explore. Give yourself some white space. You will come back to reality on the other side of it because you've never left it. You've never left it. And you would be ready to take action where it's time to, where you're called to, and to take that action in a way that doesn't leave you overwhelmed and depleted at the end of the day. So I wish you well. Enjoy your day, and I would love to hear your feedback, your comments on Facebook, or email me, whatever works, and let me know where you're at with creating some white space in life. And I will keep you posted because mine is always a work in progress. Always a work in progress. And I really do think that's the way it's supposed to be. So have a good